Shout out. Man, it's a good Friday, baby. We go to Africa today. I'm so excited. Stellar Global checking in. We about to go live with UHURU. Yeah, I said it right. UHURU. It's Swahili. Yo, it means freedom. I love it. What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. I am so excited that I've got my main guy, Trust, with UHURU. As I said earlier, it is a Swahili name that means freedom. How you doing today, Trust?
How's it, Sam? Thanks for having me here. I'm kind of excited to be taking you guys through what we have done this side of Africa.
Absolutely, absolutely, and we are very, very excited as well. UHURU is a very, very powerful, strong application that's utilizing Stellar, and you guys are leveraging the WhatsApp platform. So I can't wait to dive into it. But as I always do, I want to start off and understand, a little history about yourself and help to educate us all and give us a glimpse into what life is like prior to the invention of UHURU in Africa.
Oh, thanks, eh? So originally I'm from Zimbabwe, and I moved to South Africa about 15 years ago to study. And when I moved to South Africa, I think my experience has been sort of like back and forth between Zimbabwe and South Africa, communicating with family back home and trying to understand their day-to-day life. And through that, I think I've always been a numbers guy, excited
I
about
like that. I like
how
that.
currency works and quite a lot of other things. So that itself led me into investment banking and specifically in the trading space. So I think
Wow.
until recently, I've been quite active in that space, working as a quant, building some very interesting derivative pricing models and all those maths kind of stuff. So I think that's sort of like what culminated to me, kind of like excited in how currency works across the globe.
Wow, wow. So let's talk about how currency works in Africa, because I was reading about you guys for a long time now, and something that you guys had discussed on your website was how if you're simply traveling, you once you leave into a neighboring country, a lot of people don't even have access to ability to use their currency. So, can you give some kind of background on the I guess the breakup of how currencies are so puzzled up in Africa currently?
Yeah, so that's quite an interesting question. So I think most of our currencies, they actually don't trade directly. We
Wow.
mostly trade via the dollar, which effectively means for me to be able to send money to Nigeria or to the neighboring Zimbabwe, I would have to go via dollar, right?
Wow.
So
Really?
the reason,
Wow.
yeah,
Wow.
and a lot of times, yeah, that's how it is. It's quite segmented in that way. So it brings up a bit of some transaction cost as well as some slippages. So I think, as you pointed out, just for me traveling back to Zimbabwe, what I will find out is most of my transaction capability that I have here in South Africa are not quite useful there because of that segmentation. So, I mean, Visa and Mastercard, they've done some good job in enabling that transition to be smooth. But look, there's still that segmentation that makes it so difficult that if I'm traveling to another country, I can't go there easily and spend the money I have in my bank account. So I would have to get some dollars, man, and put them in my
Wow.
pocket and travel with them and make sure as I get into that country, convert into the local currency and get to spend my dollars or my money that way. So it's still a bit of a slap, if I can put it for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Right, right. Wow, wow, wow. That is amazing. We're a lot of us are so focused on this whole digital growth and going into cryptocurrencies, but we still have a lot of just basic gaps in our financial system, allowing you to be able to buy goods, invest, create a life for the future. One of the things that was also a really big theme I saw on your website and your mission statement was financial inclusion. Okay. Talk a little bit about that, about the exclusionary aspects that what you just described, how that really affects, young adults that are trying to make a name for themselves.
Yeah, so I think that's quite a huge problem in this part of the region, especially in South Africa, being
Mm-hmm.
the powerhouse of Africa. So a lot of young adults and even older ones, they travel from their neighboring country into South Africa, and some of them they are not well documented, so they end up being in South Africa without any way of being able to be banked. So pretty much they
Wow.
don't have access to some of these financial services that are provided. I mean, it's to do with documentation and as well as how limiting it is to actually access a bank account in this part of the world, especially without proper KYC documents. So that itself
Wow.
is quite a huge problem because we currently have close to about 10 million foreign nationals in South Africa. And I would say the bulk of them are still undocumented, meaning that they can't access any financial service. So that itself, it makes it difficult for them to send funds back home or even to send funds amongst themselves. So now the rise of fintech is trying to address that. However, there's still some huge gaps, which I think Uhuru is sort of like addressed. And the major gap is to do with, when I'm sending money back home, a lot of the times it's to address an immediate need. It could be the case that the family is out of the next meal, could be the case that they are out of electricity or they're out of day-to-day service. So the current methods that are in the market at the moment, you find it will take up to hours or even up to days for that money to get to them. So that's quite a problem because it means if their electricity did run out at night, they will sleep in darkness. If it means
Wow.
if one of the service runs out, they would have to wait for tomorrow to go collect the cash. So Uhuru sort of like came with a mission to create a borderless platform that allows near instant payments across the region. So, in simple, I'm able to buy my mother instantly electricity, send her a bit of airtime for her to call me or buy data, or even pay utility bills in real time. So that itself can aid her to go day-to-day activities. So that's quite a problem, and I think Uhuru has tackled it. I like to think in a better way.
Wow, you're inspiring. I tell you that much, man. It's you touched on something earlier regarding ID, KYC, and the hurdles that cause. I'm broadcasting here out of the states, and so a lot of us when we hear KYC, we think, oh, everybody has, identify yourself. That's not difficult. That's something that everybody has. But I'm glad that you brought that up because not being born with documentation of who you are is a really really big setback that is stopping folks from being able to have banking access. So it's really great what you guys are doing with Uhuru. And so right now you mentioned that there are all these different services. Is this something that people are doing right now? Like, right now they're able to pay for expenses. Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, definitely. I
Wow.
will show you guys and take you through it,
Let's
and
do that.
probably a bit of confirmation from that. But I guess before I delve into the demo itself, but I guess it's worth understanding the problem we are trying to address and why we chose Stella particularly. I think there's a number of items that one need to take into account when addressing this problem about near instant payments. The first one is around fees, right? When you're executing those transactions, the fees have to be low because the region itself is very sensitive when it comes to fees. And also, it has to be in a timely manner, it has to be fast. And they obviously there's a hurdle that you have to manage currency risk quite well because from navigating from one currency to the other, it leaves the company driving the initiative with a lot of currency risk because some of these currencies we're talking about, they can jump in a day 10%, 20%. So that itself, you need a scalable and a dynamic solution, which Stellar Dex addresses quite nicely. And I think just understanding that helps. And also, why, I mean, a platform on WhatsApp, I think it's to do with the barriers of entry around this region. You will find that a lot of people, they actually don't have money to buy data. So with WhatsApp, it makes it quite easy because the telecom companies have quite subsidized the data costs on WhatsApp. So it makes people that are financially excluded, which are the lower part of the income bracket, to also participate. And secondly, not everyone, or rather, the smartphone evolution hasn't sort of like catched up this part of the world. Of course, it does. You see the middle class and others having iPhones and all the latest smartphones, but the bulk of the population still using those phones that can only accommodate one or two applications. So it means if you roll out an application to someone in that space, they won't download it because of memory issues and a whole lot of other things. But because all of those, I would say, entry level smartphones, they can accommodate WhatsApp, it makes it easy and the barriers of entry are reduced. So that's what culminated for us to take this approach where we set up on WhatsApp as well as Stellar. So let me take you through, guys, what we have done, which I think is quite exciting.
All right.
So I'm going to open up my WhatsApp on my desktop and I will be making the prompts from the phone to make it much, much faster. Um, so this
All
is
right.
just my WhatsApp. As you can see, my profile, a nice picture of Norway, beautiful Norway.
Nice.
So I'll just take you guys through first in on the setup, how the wallet is set up. To those guys who are tech geeks who probably be interested to see how are these guys doing it on WhatsApp. So this is just what we would call a Twilio autopilot that's running in the background, which is configured with a couple of tasks, actions, and functions. And I mean, this wallet, which is our number, any user can access it from anywhere in the world, even if you are in, I would say, any part of the world. If you just have this number, and you type the word hi, you will be able to access it and it will tell you some prompts. So
Okay.
ideally, what would happen to the bulk of the people is when they type hi, the first thing is they are not registered. So the wallet picks that up, that your number is not in the database. So it takes you through some KYC process that makes you part of the Uhuru family, right? So
Okay.
the KYC involves what we would like to term a light KYC, which involves you giving us your name, your address, and take a picture of your identity document. It could be a passport, it could be a license, or an actual ID. And
Okay.
once you have uploaded all that, and the nice thing, is that you are not leaving WhatsApp. You're just taking a picture of your ID and upload it on WhatsApp. And
Wow.
then we'll capture, right? And on top of that, we do what we call just some liveness checks to make sure that the person who gave us the ID document or the passport is who they say they are. So we require you to hold your passport next to your face and take a picture and then give us as well. By doing that, you are then activated on the platform. So the first step, once you have been activated on our site, is to give you a stellar address.
All
And that
right,
stellar
stellar.
address, yeah, is to give you a stellar address. Yeah. And also to enable a trust line for you to be able to receive our asset. And our primary asset is the ZAR asset, right? So to see that, you can quickly type in 13, which is just the services around Stellar. So there, you're able to see your balances and all those stuff. But I think what is of interest is to see the address that I spoke about. So that comes up if you select number 5. That just display my Stellar address.
Wow.
And that itself, I mean, I'll go to Stellar Expect so that you guys can see some of the transactions as they get executed. But to
All this
go
is
back a
happening
little
in
bit,
real time, right? All this is happening in real time, folks.
yeah,
This is incredible. It's really cool.
in real time. So to go back, I think on the menu, because it's quite exciting there, there's some very interesting services that we have integrated. I think one of our favorite service, not to say the other ones are not great, it's just the technology that's around that. The Nigeria service, I think it's one of our best service in that
Okay.
it utilizes Stellar at its best, right? One, it executes some transactions via the DEX using part payments, right? You are able to receive funds via SEP6. To those who are tech geeks or are familiar with that, with Stellar, SEP6 is just one of the standards one would use to transfer value between
Okay.
anchors. And also, what's nice about this service is Uhuru doesn't need to be present in Nigeria. All it needs to do is establish an anchor that's available in Nigeria and
Wow.
partner accordingly. So in this case, we have partnered with Cowrie. I think the Cowrie
Wow.
folks have once demoed this partnership in
Yes.
the last year Canadian uh, function. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I
Shout
think
out to
that's,
everybody at Cowrie, by the way. Great team over there.
yeah,
And
great
real
people.
quick too, real quick too, I think that this is really good to point out. Another example of how the Stellar network really it just builds up. It helps everybody because just by joining the Stellar, you're not now not just defined to South Africa. You are able to easily and seamlessly enter a completely different market in Nigeria simply because you're both anchors. So that's really good to point out.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, I'll obviously delve into the service around Nigeria because those are quite interesting. But to
Okay.
demo a little bit in terms of how transfer of value happens, is if we go to the menu, I think we can see number one, which is send money. In this particular case, it's just talking about sending our asset from one wallet to the other. But basically, this is for registered users on the platform. External users can't access this. Of course, they can access it via Stellar transfer of value in the other APIs that are available. But on the wallet itself, all is simply happening is um, some balance is being transmitted. Oh, instead of one, I entered an exclamation mark. So it's pretty cool that, I mean, it's quite explanatory. If you enter
Yeah,
something
yeah,
wrong, it's
definitely.
look, you have made a mistake. Do you want to reconsider? Um, so yeah, I'm gonna enter one, and it will just show me the next item, which is quite interesting. I'll explain why we say it's interesting. So I think the transition for a lot of people has been the use of USSD. So to those who are not familiar with USSD, is those kind of prompts you make on your phone, *120, so forth, and to execute a balance check of your airtime or to check other services that are locally available. right? So I think that transition, we had it in mind to realize that people could use those same codes into executing transaction. So I'll demo that, I think, once I've taken you guys through the easier process for a new user, which is quite explanatory. So here it will ask you for the cell phone number of the recipient. So basically, as I said, each WhatsApp number on our platform is linked to a Stellar address. So we're simply asking, can you provide the number you want to send funds to? So in this case, I'm going to send my colleague, co-founder John Moss. Um, so I'll just type in his number here, and the system will quickly ask me how much I want to send him. Today, I'm not feeling so generous. I'll probably send him less than a dollar, but 5 rands. And the next step, it then goes into the database and display the name of Mr. John Moss and the amount. This is just there to make sure users are not sending money to wrong people, because
Right.
probably you're not paying attention. So you just need to be reminded that, look, you are about to send money to this person. So I select continue to show that I would like to proceed. And obviously, it's going to ask me for my 4-digit PIN, which I'm going to type. And definitely after this demo, I'll change it in case someone get hold of my phone. Yeah, so what's happening now is just transfer value on Stellar, where
Okay.
5 worth of rand is being moved from my wallet to Mr. Jones Moss wallet. And it does give you more a receipt. And the receipt here that we display to users is just for them to get accustomed to the wallet as well as their balance, and that. But at the back of all this, what's happening is an actual transfer of value on Stellar, which I can quickly show you by going to Stellar Expert. I think I had a window open here. Let me just close these ones. Had a window open. All right, let's just do this. Make sure that, all right, we can open another one. I'm gonna resize them so that they are next to each other
Yeah.
to
What I'll
make
do, I'll let you.
navigation.
Yeah, I'll let you go ahead and set that up. But it's really cool. So how long did you when did you first get introduced to Stellar?
So it was back in 2019.
2019.
As I
Okay.
said, this was a culmination of us having tried other blockchains available. And I think one of the blockchains we tried was Ethereum at the time. But I mean, you can see what we're doing here is it requires speed and low cost of fees. So that itself, Ethereum couldn't match up to what we're looking to do. And before that, because at the time, I think in the region, there was quite a buzz around Bitcoin. So a lot of people were remitting money using Bitcoin. So we also explored that to see if we could transfer value using Bitcoin. And we did it for a bit of time. And that's when we noticed, look, it's very slow. It comes with a lot of overheads that you can't build a system on. And that's when we stumbled upon Stellar in 2019, and we're like, wow, this technology is pretty cool. But as I pointed out, it had to address the 4 things that I mentioned. The first one
Right.
being the fees, the second one being the speed, the third one being the DEX, or rather a way to manage your currency risk across the currencies that you operate in. And lastly, a way to make partnership that doesn't involve you to set up in every country. And Stella answered all those.
And so, there's a
So
lot of talk. You hear a lot of talk. There's some big figures that are really touting Bitcoin as the savior of Africa. And most of the folks that are saying this don't live there physically. So, I guess you just really identified those 4 key points that Bitcoin just doesn't do. It has a different use case, But as far as
Yeah.
bridging the gap, as far as being a vehicle of bridging currencies together, it just can't do. So, are you ready on your phone now?
Yes, I'm ready.
Okay. All right, let's go.
All right. So here, I'm just showing Stellar Expert where all the transactions gets recorded. All the Stellar transactions gets recorded. So this is my
Okay.
account, and you can quickly see that I've made a transfer of the 5 rand I spoke about with a bit of fees, which we always include. And also, the nice thing about this, it also have reflects where that transaction originated. So from here, you can see it originated from our bot, which we call just the same money bot. It's just a name we decided to use. But if this
Mm-hmm.
was originating from anywhere else, it would come with its memo all blank.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it in terms of simple transferring of value. So as I pointed out earlier, was we also needed, all right, I'm going back to the main screen.
Okay.
Let me know if it's centered.
Move it over a little bit to the right.
Okay.
There we go. Perfect.
All right, good. All right. So as I pointed out that we also need to handle the transition, or rather something that people were used to, which is the use of USSD. So is a USSD code is something like this, where I would enter star, and then in this case, it's the number that I need to provide, and I need to specify the amount that I want to send to John. This time I'll be generous. I'll send him 10
Thank you.
rand.
You're so generous. Thank you so
And
much.
yeah, and then in this case, I'll specify the PIN. As I said, I'm going to change this definitely after. Um, in case my phone get lost or something. So basically, this code, if I were to submit it now, it would execute the same transaction I did previously. So let's check it out. What happens? So now it's just submitting the transaction, executing it on the blockchain, and
Wow.
giving the user the receipt, which
Wow.
uh,
Wow.
investment, right? So this is quite useful in our region because a lot of people are accustomed to USSD and they quite like it because it's interactive and you can use shortcuts and so forth. So if we
And
were to
and
go
and
to
this is
Stellar
all
X,
just like mobily. You just go on your phone and you can just transfer it in and out. That's amazing. That's amazing.
yeah, it is. I mean, for anyone, the barriers of entry, as I said, are very low. All you need to do is just have WhatsApp. Anywhere in the world, you can access this. You can send your family some services. So let's go to some very interesting services that we offer on this platform. So I'll go back to the main menu again.
And all you gotta do, even now, even I can tell you what to do now. You just type hi and it pops it right back up.
Yeah, it gives you the menu. Yeah. Yeah. So here we have an airtime services, which is just recharging your phone number with some talking time or data and so forth. So that's number six. So if I enter number six here, it will then display all the countries we support, right? So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stretch it a little bit here. I want to send you some airtime, Sam, some talking
Okay.
time to your phone,
Appreciate
right?
it, man. I've been
And
kind of low lately.
I hope you, yeah. So that's number three. We choose select international, pretty much all the other countries. I don't know if you want to share your phone or your private one, if possible.
Yeah. So if you want to send me something,
Yeah.
let's see here. Let me give you a good number to use.
Yes. I'm putting you on the spot, man,
I know,
as
man. I
you did.
know. All right. So why don't you go ahead and I'm trying to think of something so I don't get a bunch of spam here. Hold on.
Oh, sorry, mate.
All right, so why don't you go ahead and send it to 917-310-4537.
Oh, you have to start again. Is it? We have to start with the code. Is one right?
Yeah,
The service is
917
one. Yes. Yeah.
310
Yes.
4537.
E7. Let's see if this works. I hope your number is one of those numbers we support. Okay, it's taking a bit of time. Oh, unfortunately, your number is not one of those numbers supported, man. Yeah, sorry for that. But usually, I guess just by entering my number or John Morse's number that that I had showed earlier on, which
Mm-hmm.
is um, okay. Yeah, so here it's also quite an interesting, as I pointed out. It always tells you if you type in something wrong and all that, and then it tries to direct you. There's a bit of some AI running,
Okay.
obviously coupled with Twilio AI as well as ours, which tries to optimize in terms of a user the user experience so that you don't end up stuck in a loop for quite long. It does enables you to go back to the menu and figure out again. So here I'll just send, as I said, to John Morse's number, which I had showed earlier, this one. So I think Mr. John Moss uses, I would have to figure out what he uses here because there's a couple
Okay.
of networks that we have here, but I'll just go for the first one, a Vodacom. I think it's the most popular,
Okay.
not to market them or what. I don't, yeah.
Free publicity.
So here you just enter the mobile number, and I won't be generous again. I'll just send him something less than $1 and the pin again. So the pin feature is quite there to make sure that if someone gets hold of your phone, they don't end up doing transactions that you don't authorize, right? So in the background, it's just buying the service that we are talked about, which is talking time for Mr. John Moss. And I think direct recharge failed. So I probably selected the wrong network here. Yeah. So I guess I mean I could have used my number, but that's fine. I think for for the purposes of the demo, we can move on to Nigeria. But that's
Okay.
basically in a nutshell. You're able to buy talking time for about 150 countries at the moment that we
Okay.
support. Of course, some of them are not via anchor partnerships. It's only three that are via anchor partnerships. The rest are via some services that we APIs that are accessible out there. But in any case, settling those transactions, we have to settle them via the blockchain or via some asset that these API providers offers.
Okay. Neat,
So
neat, neat.
yeah.
And so that offers some really good tools. And you said the last one you have, we're about we got a couple more minutes here, so we can look at maybe some of your Nigerian services.
Yes, yes, definitely. So this one you can just tap in 9
Okay.
because it's number 9. So by the time you get used to the wallet, you don't need to say hi to get back to the menu because you already
Oh,
know
okay.
the service
Okay.
where it's listed. Yes. So here you see we have sent money to Nigeria, which allows one to be able to send money to a bank account in Nigeria.
Wow.
And then the second one, top up Naira, which is just NGNT. So in this case, you'll be topping your wallet with NGNT asset on the Stellar network. And then
Okay.
that asset, if you want, you can then select option number 3, convert that Naira into our own asset, which is the ZAR asset. And all that's happening in the background is a part payment where you're converting from Naira to probably some intermediate assets to ZAR. Obviously, those who are familiar with Stellar, you can pretty much do any path that optimize the amount, the destination amount. So here I'm gonna demo how I would send money to a Cowrie bank account, for the sake that I don't need to show people's bank accounts. So basically, I'll just copy Cowrie's bank account here and then paste it on the wallet. So first I'll select number one, which is just
Okay.
send money to Nigeria.
Okay.
So you can go back on the wallet, yeah,
Okay.
which is just send money to Nigeria. So here I'll have to type in the bank account. So what these guys have done, which is quite very cool, especially I think the Nigerian bank system is a bit advanced on this. You're able to query the information of the bank account to make sure that you're sending money to the correct bank account, because this is quite important for user experience. You don't want to end up sending money to the wrong bank
Mm.
account. So second, now you type in what bank it is, and Nigeria has a lot of
It's
them,
amazing.
about
It's
20.
amazing that you're able
That's
to do this all
amazing.
on your smartphone like this. I mean, really just on
And then you
WhatsApp.
select
Wow.
on WhatsApp, man.
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
send Cowrie only 5 rand. I'm not generous. And what's happening now is to go query the information of the account. So this is where something phenomenal happens, and I quite like this feature. Thanks, Cowrie guys. So here they're
Mm-hmm.
getting the bank account and displaying the information. So this is via SEP6, where we are able to see which bank account you're
Wow.
about to send to. So as you can see here now, I can see this is Cowrie Integrated Systems. That's their bank account name. And also it tells you how much that 5 rand is equivalent to in NGNT or in
Wow.
Naira, right? So all this is coming through from the DEX. It's the system querying the DEX to say, if I want to convert 5 rand, 5 ZAR, how much would that be equivalent to in Naira? So let's just enter the PIN to continue with the payment and probably go back to the Stellar Expert so that you guys can see what exactly gets sent and how these payments get executed on the Cowrie side. Um,
Wow.
all right. It looks okay. It's a very unlucky day today for you guys. So, but basically, what's happening here, if I can explain, it's to do with my account. I'm actually trading Naira. I mean, now and again, I like trading these assets. So, because I'm trading Naira, I can't buy an order that I have executed myself.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's what.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
So if it was you, Sam, trying this, it would work nicely because
Gotcha.
it's not your order that you're getting yeah, that you're feeling, right? And to close out, I'll just demo buying XLM. I think some of the folks out there will be interested
Yeah.
in buying some XLM and also to see it in, yeah. So as I said, option number 13. Yeah, so yeah, these are the prices here. I can see
Mm-hmm.
XLM went a bit lower today, but look, keep on holding. That's not,
Good.
it's just my personal opinion, of course. I'm not,
No
I'm not,
trading advice.
I don't think, yeah. So here we just buy. So just by selecting one, okay, to ask me the amount, I'll just say again, 10.
Okay.
And then that
Your
pin
pin.
again, it always comes everywhere.
Good. Good.
Enter the
Good.
pin. Now I'm actually buying XLM. There we go. It then
Nice.
shows
Nice.
I've bought
Nice.
this much of XLM, and then it gives you the transaction hash. And let's
Nice.
quickly navigate to that window again. You guys can see this transaction. All
Live
right, I
transaction
need
right
to,
there. Awesome.
yes. I just refresh so that we can see it. All right, there we go, guys. As you can see, I've just executed 10 worth of rand to buy some XLM. Let's hope it, yeah. I think that's pretty much it, Sam. I don't know if you want to ask anything else.
No, I think that this was really good. I mean, you guys have really, created a definition of financial inclusion. There were you identified a problem, a huge financial gap for millions in Africa, and you've created a solution using not even a high-powered phone, your basic phone, and using WhatsApp. You can pay for services, you can send money, you can buy XLM, you can pay for utility services right there. I want to give a shout out to Mariano. Amazing is what he said. Thanks for the demo. Love this project. So shout out to Mariano, one of our definite hardcore followers. I appreciate you over in the YouTube channel participating and watching. But I think it's great that so many people are able to see just how Stellar is being utilized. As we talked about earlier, a lot of times you hear just the talk of Bitcoin in Africa, and some, like I said, some very heavy, big names are saying, "Oh, Bitcoin is everything that is the end all solution." And what you're showing is it definitely has a place. It definitely has a place and a purpose. But with Stellar, you're able to just offer some real world, real time services that everyone can enjoy. So really appreciate you showing this and sharing this with everybody. It was great talking today. You definitely offered a very detailed breakdown on your history and the UHURU wallet, which really appreciate.
Yes, you got it right there. That's good.
Good. Well, everybody, thank you for joining in today. I hope you guys got something out of this. Definitely make sure you follow them on Twitter. Also, you can go to uhuruwallet.com. That's UHURU wallet.com. You can get a lot more information, find out a lot more on what they're doing, and if you want to team up, you want to go ahead and maybe you got a project idea that you want to partner with them in. This is what it's all about. Make sure that you reach out to them directly. Thank you, Trust, again for your time. Please stay in touch, and I look forward to speaking with you soon.
Thank you, Sam. I really enjoyed this.
Absolutely.
Cheers.
Take care.